Hey everybody, I found another interesting pattern that's happening from October to December in 2018. You may remember a few years ago we started watching the 40 days of meteor rain between the Draconids and the Leonids. This is always a 40-day period of meteor showers every year, and as far as I know, there are no other meteor showers that are separated by 40 days. There are two significant points to this. First, in the story of Noah's flood, in Genesis 7, we're told the rain fell to earth for 40 days and 40 nights. Then Luke 17, 26 through 30 tells us the last days will be like the days of Noah and Lot. Fire and brimstone will rain down from heaven. We go into more detail about this in another video linked here. But in short, the scriptures seem to confirm that Noah's flood is a prophecy about the future, and the rain refers specifically to a rain of fire and brimstone. So that's the first point. The 40 days of rain refers to an asteroid impact. Second, the rain of fire and brimstone is alluded to again in Revelation 12. In verses 3 and 4, it says, "A sign will appear in heaven of a great red dragon casting the stars to the earth." That's a reference to the Draconid meteor shower that happens every year in October. The Draconid constellation represents a dragon, and the meteor shower that comes from this dragon is the sign of the dragon casting the stars to the earth. And that was confirmed in 2012 when the sign of Revelation 12 occurred on the ancient Feast of Trumpets, and the Draconid meteor shower occurred a week before. This year in 2018, the Draconid meteor shower occurred on the exact date of the ancient appointed time of trumpets. And this was the exact start of the 7th year from the sign in 2012. So two more points there. Ancient Trumpets 2018 started the 7th year from the sign, and it also started the 40 days of rain between the Draconids and the Leonids. This year, the 40 days of meteor rain started on Ancient Trumpets and ends on November 17th, which is the peak of the Leonid meteor shower. Then notice there are exactly 7 days between that date and the start of Noah's reign on the Southern Hemisphere calendar. The 40 days of Noah's reign start on the 17th day of the second month. This occurs twice per year, once in the Northern Hemisphere and once in the Southern Hemisphere. This year, the 17th day of the second month in the Southern Hemisphere is occurring on the day after Thanksgiving, which is known as Black Friday. No one seems to know for sure why this day after Thanksgiving is referred to as Black Friday, but History.com posted an article claiming that the expression Black Friday originated with a financial crisis that occurred on September 24th, 1869. For a year after that, retail accounting books were in the red, losing money, but on the day after Thanksgiving, their books were back in the black, gaining money. But as a side note, those two dates are also interesting because both September 24th and November 24th can be thought of as the same numerical date. September is the 9th month on the Gregorian calendar, and November is the 9th month on the ancient Roman calendar. This year, Black Friday occurs on November 23rd, and while I'm still not convinced what that expression is truly about, I'm simply acknowledging that it's a part of a series of patterns this year. So again, the 40 days of meteor rain in 2018 started on Ancient Trumpets, on the Draconid meteor shower, and end on the peak of the Leonids. The Leonid meteor shower connects to a very, very bizarre pattern that originated in Hollywood and seems to connect to the idea of a comet impact. For more on that, you can see the video linked here. That connects to the Orionid meteor shower, which also peaked on a significant date in 2018, October 22nd, the date of Passover in the Southern Hemisphere. So in 2018, 40 days from the Draconids on trumpets to the Leonids, with the Orionids landing on Passover in the midst of that. Then exactly 7 days to the start of Noah's reign in the Southern Hemisphere. Then, starting on Noah's reign, exactly 40 days to January 1st, New Year's Day, which is also the 24th day of the 9th month in the Northern Hemisphere. January 1st, 2019 is the start of Noah's 40th day. But because the prophecy says it's 40 days and 40 nights, The 40th day starts on the evening of January 1st and ends on the evening of January 2nd. And there's a reason there's a 3-day window for each biblical date. That's explained in another video, which I will link here. But in short, the window for the end of the 40 days of rain will last until January 4th. So I'm not claiming to know why this occurs in 2018, but this is the only year I'm aware of this happening, and we've been watching these appointed times for several years. Also, the end of the 40 days coincides with the 24th day of the 9th month, which is in Haggai 2:18-23, the shaking of the heavens and the earth. This date also happens every year, but this year it lines up with Noah's reign. The 24th day of the 9th month in the northern hemisphere and the end of Noah's reign in the southern hemisphere line up back to back this year from December 30th to January 4th. I guess it's possible all of this is just a coincidence, but it seems like an unusual amount of coincidences this year from October to December. I've talked about some of the other things in videos that I will link here and at the end of this video. For more information on the biblical fulfillments also relating to 2018, see the playlist linked here. Thank you to those who make this work possible. If you like this video and want to see more like it, please consider providing support using the link below. I hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you next week.